Hello and welcome. If you're seeing this, it basically means you're a pretty big deal. Actually, probably means you're a huge deal. Okay, it means I'm a big deal and you get to be a part of that, but don't get discouraged because that's still special. I'm Commissioner Gordon, and you're all either general managers in IT Bragging Lights Fantasy Football League or the IT Powder Puff Fantasy Football League. Regardless of what league you're in, both leagues are 12 team leagues. Those 12 teams will be split into three divisions: East, West, and Central. The split will happen via player draw at the live draft. We'll select cards and place you in your division. This is done for fairness so that nobody ends up being a Jay Cutler. I'm sorry, I mean Crybaby. Let's talk roster. The rosters will be composed of 11-man teams, 9 starters, and 2 bench. The bench players can be of any position. The starters will be made up of 1 running back, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex positions that can be either running back, tight end, or wide receiver, 1 kicker, 1 defense. I know to some of you, 2 bench might be pretty short from some of the other leagues you've played in the past. That's okay. That this is by design. This league is intended for a lot of trading and free agency pickups, and being able to pick those up, and realistically, just so that I can make fun of each and every one of you for probably making some type of bad trade or pickup during the season. So if the question is this all for my personal enjoyment? The absolute answer is yes. Okay, let's go over some basic things here. Some people might have a few questions on it, especially some of the newer members to the league. So I'll explain a few things. And trade deadline, November 25th. Fractional yardage, yes. If you don't know what that means, it means that if we're going to award a wide receiver, for example, 1 point for every 10 yards, if the player has 77 yards, they would get 7.7 points for those 77 yards. There's no waiver period, so you don't have to worry about that. If you don't know what it is, it doesn't matter. The waiver type will be a continual rolling list. Won't really matter as much to most people, but if you need more information on that, let me know and I'll explain it to you. Playoffs. 3-week playoffs, week 14, 15, and 16. For you newcomer fantasy football fans, we take week 17 off because a lot of times in real NFL, the starters won't be playing. They're going to get prepared for the actual NFL playoffs. So to keep the tempo up and the games exciting, we drop off our regular season week early. So weeks 14, 15, 16 will be how to break down. Division leaders will get a first round bye, but that's only be only the top 2 spots. So first and second place, based off rank and then points, will get off the first week, and that'll leave team places third and sixth to play each other, and 4 and 5 to play each other. In the second week, overall number 1 will play the lowest seed of the winners from the previous week, and number 2 will play the higher of those seeds. For example, if 6 beats 3 and 4 beats 5, then first place would play 6 and second place would be playing against 4. Then in week 3, the winners from the previous week will play each other for the Super Bowl. Fees. If you are in the IT Bragging Rights League, your entry fee is $100, not payable in any other forms of payment other than US dollars. Dave. Dollars. Dave. However, only $20 of that is required at the live draft. You have until the playoffs to be paid in full. If you're not paid in full by the playoffs, you'll suffer a 3-game suspension for your entire roster which basically means you're not in the playoffs, but so you're not going to make the money, but you didn't pay any money anyway. So quit being cheap and pay your fees. No big deal. In addition to the entry fees, we got a couple other minor fees. This money is used to pay for beer and soda and food and venues and marketing and trophies and God knows what else that I have to make sure we get a hold of to make all this happen, like draft boards and such. Thank you, Russ Burdos, for getting those on order and getting those in for this year's draft. Um, so we got $1 fee for the last points for the week. That's called the bottom of the barrel fee. So if you had 58 points that week and everybody else did better than that, you owe a buck. No big deal. All these fees are for both leagues, by the way. So they're, if you're in both leagues too, and you have roughly the same team in both leagues, and you're bottom of the barrel one week, you're probably going to be bottom of the barrel both weeks. So just prepare yourself mentally for that. I won't have to worry about such things, but the rest of you. Um, $1 fee on all transactions. You want to pick a player up from free agency? Cool. It's totally encouraged. Small bench is going to force you to do that somewhat anyway. This will not be a draft to win league, but as such, all transactions can cost a buck. So I got Aaron Rodgers. He's got a bye week. I want to drop him and pick up, I don't know, let's say Teddy Bridgewater. That's going to cost me $1. For the whole, that's one transaction I dropped and picked up. That's a single dollar. It's not $1 per person or anything. It's just $1. Those fees are only limited to free agency transactions, though. So, since the league is really trying to push trading this year, we're going to offer free trades across the board on both leagues. So, let's say the same scenario. I got Aaron Rodgers on a bye, and let's say I talk to Dave and I say, "Hey, Dave, what do you got for quarterbacks?" He probably has Cutler because for whatever reason. But let's say, well, naturally he's on the bench for Dave, so I could say, hey, let me get that, let me get Cutler off of you for this one week, and I'll trade you Aaron Rodgers for Cutler, and naturally he would do that because who wouldn't? And that would be free, and hopefully that happens this season. I know it should make it a lot more fun, see some trades going around, but if not, that's fine. Whatever, however you think you can win, more power to you. Lastly, the last fee is a new one. If you played last year in the IT bragging rights, it's called most points on the bench, and I was just really looking through last year's stuff, some of my own personal games, as well as a lot of everybody else's games, and the number of points on the bench was ridiculous in a couple of games, and I just thought that it would be fun to keep an eye on that and to make that a focal point this year going forward is, the the points basically that you just missed out on because you thought you had the better matchup or whatever might have happened. So that would be the most total points. All these fees. Just keep in mind the transaction fees are the only one that go across the board. Last points, least points in a week. Bottom of the barrel. That's going to be one person every week. Most points on the bench. That's only going to be one person on the every week. So I mean, these are not. We're not talking about a ton of money here, folks. I mean, you could go with paying none of those, or you could pay if you're the absolute worst and you lose every week and your team never scores more than 20 points a week. All right, yeah, it's going to cost you like $16 or something. So, I mean, not a big deal. Don't panic. Everybody should be. Let's do it. IT Bragging Rights League. It's going to have an entry fee of $100. 12 players, it's 1,200 in entry fees. That's right, there's a comma in there, folks. 1,200. 50% payback to first place at $600. Second place will take home $300. Third place will take home $150, and each division champion will take home $50. This is 100% payback, so all the entry fees go all the way back to each one of you. If you're a winner, it's old school America here. You got to be a winner to get something. Okay, no blue ribbons here for these leagues. These are some pretty handsome payouts. If you want to be a part of this next year and you're in the league below this, step up. Join us. More power to you. IT Powder Puff. You're looking at a $600 in entry fees. Once again, that's a 50% payout on first place. We really like to reward that number one spot in these leagues, and that's going to pay out $300. Second place is going to take home $150. Third place is going to take home $75. And division champions will each take home $25 per. So you might be wondering about these division leaders. So that's going to go off a record. So the best record in each division will be the division champion. If there's a tie, we'll go off of total overall fantasy points for the team scored. In all reality, you could be getting some of your entry money already back by the time you go into playoffs. So if you're heading into playoffs as the division champion, you're probably feeling pretty good at that point. You got at least half your entry fee back, and everything's looking good. If you're not a division champion going into the playoffs, that means you got a little bit more work to do. Might have to try a little bit harder in the playoffs. Might have to do a little bit more research, find those sleeper picks, go with them gut feelings, whatever it is. I don't know. All right. I don't want to do this, but Danny Woodhead. I'm going to throw that out there. It's a huge sleeper pick. If somebody wants to grab a hold of that this year and just run with it until the absolute bitter end of the season, then go ahead. It's more power to you. It's out there. I've said it now, and I can't take it back. So it's out there. Good luck to you. There's been a little bit of trash talk this season already. It's already started. There's been a little bit in this video here. I just want to let everybody know, bring it on. It's encouraged. It's fun. It's great. I'll give you an example. Last year, this guy, he takes Adrian Peterson in the first round. Guy doesn't play a single game all season, but he left him on his roster pretty much the entire season. How ridiculous. Make fun of that guy. That guy deserves to cry later on when he gets home alone by himself with nothing but a computer screen and pictures of Adrian Peterson not playing football. With that being said, I want to say good luck to everybody this year. I hope we have a fun year. I hope everything goes great. Really looking forward to it myself. And before I close the video here, I just wanted to take a quick couple of minutes and recognize a couple of people from last year that deserve some recognition. So if you're wondering who the man to beat is on the IT Bragging Rights League, that'd be Mr. William Connor. The man drafted absolute aces and pretty much just put it on autopilot and took it home. Now he'll tell you he had to do something during the year. Nah. Also, some of you might not have heard of, or maybe you did. You heard of a little wonder child, goes by the name of Team Wicked Awesome. If you're not familiar with them, but you're probably still thinking, hey, I'd like to meet the GM of that team. Sounds like a swell guy. I'll tell you this, though. Team Wicked Awesome doesn't get hung up on the small stuff, Overall season points, overall season record, 3-13. No, Team Wicked Awesome is more about just being a team. I think they're about being a symbol of what a team name should be and represents. And as such, it's my duty, nay, my privilege as commissioner of this great league to accept Team Wicked Awesome's request for early retirement and have them immediately inducted into the Hall of Shame. I think we're going to go live now to the general manager of Team Wicked Awesome and get some words from him. Look, I'm just here so I won't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer the same answers, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. How do you feel about the way the season went this year? I'm just here so I won't get fined. What can you tell us about the off season? How have you prepared? Will you be with a new team this year? Anything on your strategy? I'm just here so I won't get fined. Season predictions, anything. Look, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get a lot out of him. Hopefully you guys will get more out of your players than I can get out of my GM. Good luck all.